The season is upon us. The season of SPFBO. Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Pete. This is the Ponderings of Pete. And if I sound just a little bit congested today, or my throat sounds weird, it's because I'm a little bit congested. So I apologize for that. But if you are visiting here for the first time, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. There is a like button, a subscribe button with a bell notification if you don't want to miss any, of the content I put out. There's also a comment box down below if you want to interact, engage. If you have read these books or you are interested by some of these books, let me know down below. And if you are coming back and you're a repeat offender of watching my videos, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I appreciate all your guys' support, all your guys' engagement down below, and on the Discord and all that jazz. So thank you. You guys are awesome. Without further ado, let's talk about SPFBO. Firstly, what is it? It is the self-published fantasy blog-off that is hosted every year by Mark Lawrence. There are 10 judges, each are assigned 30 books, and they are given the task of picking a finalist from their 30 books, and then all of them read the other 9 finalists and they figure out which one's the best. So really cool self-published competition. That's really cool. And as you probably know, possibly, I have been selected by Bookborn, who is one of the judges, to basically be kind of an underjudge, essentially. So there are a few of us where we're reading 6 books each, and we are submitting our semifinalists to her, and she is reading our semifinalists, and of those, she is picking the finalist. So this is my list of 6 books that I'll be reading for SPFBO. I'm really looking forward to them. I have started the first one already. I'm really excited for this. So let's talk about the books. The first one, which I am currently reading, is The Merchant Prince by Johann Fair. This is set in essentially a fantasy version of Venice, and it entails the story of the heir of a merchant house who goes away on a voyage, gets married, and comes back to a house that is not as he left it. So his entire family, there's been some crazy stuff happen. His dad died, and things have happened. This is a book full of intrigue and assassinations and plots and all this other jazz, and it's really fun so far. His wife is a standout character. His new wife, she is definitely invaluable to us as the reader, but I will put out my full review for that once I finish it. I am having a good time so far. The second one I want to talk about is Sekhmet by Grace J. Roberts. This one feels kind of like Percy Jackson to a little bit, and this isn't the only one on the list that kind of feels like that. But essentially, our main character, Ayana, she has powers she doesn't want, and she's just trying to live a normal life. And then the second protagonist, Nick, is actually set to watch her while she's at university. So not as normal as she thought she was. And, the plot happens when people are hunting the two of them. So they have to go off and run and escape from the people that are pursuing. This is the first series of, I believe it's called the Elsevier series. I'm not entirely sure how many books are out, but this is the first one. The third book I will be reading is Heir to the Sun by Karen Lakibo. This is a portal fantasy, which is something I haven't read in a while, so I'm kind of excited for that. Our main protagonist is coming out of a relationship, and she is looking to escape. She's looking to get away. So she settles down in this very small town and makes friends with a lady that, shows her the portal, essentially, from what I could tell. Shows her a world of magic where she is the princess. And then craziness ensues. I think the ex-boyfriend shows up. It's a ride. But main thing that I took away from this is a portal fantasy, kind of like Narnia. So I'm interested, simply because I haven't read that in a while. And then the fourth one is Morrigan by Jonathan King. This is the other one that is Percy Jackson adjacent. Percy Jackson, American Gods-ish. This is Preacher's kid is tired of being a PK. It happens. And so he runs away with a girl who happens to be the Celtic goddess of war, and plot ensues, chaos ensues, all this other dramatic stuff, because there's gonna be drama with the gods, because that's just how they are in these books. Percy Jackson was one of my favorites growing up, so anything that is similar to that, I usually am just a big fan of, so excited for this one. I really haven't seen the Celtic gods done that much with in this type of genre before. The fifth book I'll be reading is The Sickles Edge by Toby Bennett and Benjamin Knox. This is the first book in the Tales of the Cursed series, and the blurb didn't really give me that much, except you have a young mage who has silver hair, emerges from this wasteland, this magical wasteland, and is he set to save the world? Question mark? Who knows? So that one, I believe, is the only one I don't have in physical copy, but it sounds interesting. Sounds like a bit of a comfort read, possibly. We'll see. And then the last one that I've been assigned to read is The Hunter by Hannah Carey. Now, this one is described as a romantic fantasy, slow burn. So, as somebody whose romance books are not my forte, we'll see how this goes. But this is about a duchess who runs away from her estate, her uncle's estate to be precise, to, stay alive. And she falls upon this mysterious island that is, ruled, by the Hunter and his band of outlaws. And so he saves her, and he also wants to get this island independent from the empire that she came from. So rebellion, maybe? I don't know. But, she's taken in, and there's romance with probably an obvious character. So we'll see how this goes. This is the first book in a duology, which is The Hunter and the Huntress, Tales of Pern Cohen Bloodlines. This is definitely the one of the six that's probably the most out of my wheelhouse normally. But, a lot of things can surprise me in different genres. I'm actually going to add 2 more that I'm reading, 2 more bonus books. I probably won't get to them until September after I've read these first 6. But I kind of scrolled through all 300 books and selected a bunch that I thought looked interesting, read the titles, and tried to see if I would be interested in them. And these 2 kind of came out on top for me. The first one is Draconics by David Oliver. This one is about an explorer into the unknown. He goes on an expedition and finds these rune stones and a gate to another world. So, fast forward 10 years, and this gate to another world has made his nation wealthy and prosperous and, on the other side of the technological curve from everybody else. There's another country that is gunning for the super secret location of the portal, and him and his adoptive daughter have to go on the run, specifically into the portal, at some point. That's about all I know, but it sounded kind of vaguely Indiana Jonesy, and that piqued my interest. The next one is The Wrong Sword by Ted Rabinowitz. This is historical fantasy. It is $11.90, and there's an ex-monk out there who makes a living scamming knights by selling them magical swords with magical fates. And he gets tied up in a quest to find a real sword. A real magical sword. I guess because he's such an expert. And I would guess hilarity ensues. We will see. But this is The Wrong Sword. And, it seemed like it's probably some sort of Arthurian adaptation. Maybe, but we'll see. Those are the 8 books as of right now that I'll be reading. I may add more to this list later, just because there are a lot of great books on these lists that look interesting. And there's a few that are part of the competition that have been touted around BookTube before. So I may get to those eventually, but I'll let you know when I do. So, thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your night, and make sure to get some rest, because that is important.